Hey everyone, hope everyone's having a great weekend and enjoying their Sunday so far. And wanting to make this short video about sports betting. As you know, this channel is all about exposing scammers on YouTube and social media. And definitely sports betting has more than its fair share of scammers. This includes people, touters, scamdicappers as we call them, trying to sell their daily picks or weekly picks or monthly picks or yearly picks or packages, whatever the case may be. It's been one big scam going on for decades and decades. All right, and we're here to got a nice little article to read you about why to stay away from them. And we also are making this video because under the notion we see Christopher Mitchell definitely trying to go into this field for his new scam, and we're here to warn him openly that we've made his life a living hell, exposing him on his baccarat and roulette, whatever the case may be. And this is definitely our field, my field, and he definitely tries to get in it. I'll definitely finish the job off and make his life and ruin him and Stacy once and for all. All right. So with that said, I'll definitely get into my background. For those of you guys that don't know, most members of my forum do. Sports betting is my forte. I don't claim to be a professional, but I do claim to be an expert. And what makes me an expert is I have literally about nearly 30 years of sports betting experience. All right. Before I was even a teen, I was into sports betting. My dad used to bring home these parlay cards that went around in the early 80s and early 90s. And these parlay cards that, mostly for football, he'd bring them home. I'd use my allowance to bet on them. And I was doing actually really, really good. And this was, again, way before I was even a teenager. And I'd do better than my dad. I'd do better than my dad's coworkers. I'd do better than my uncles. And they'd always actually come to me. It was funny. I wasn't even a teen, maybe 8, 9, 10 years old. And they'd always ask me, who do I like? So again, that was before I was a teen. When I became a teen, and I started actually betting on sports, and then through my dad, and then I got fake ID, and I'd go to the horse tracks, dog tracks, bet on horses, bet on the greyhounds, bet on you name it. Then I'd play poker. So again, definitely gambling's been in my blood, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of gambling and what it can do to people. And that's why I created my forum. One of the reasons why I created the forum, so that I can help the younger people out. Definitely as well as use my knowledge to help people on YouTube as well. So with that said, we're going to get into why sports betting, the scammers of sports betting, these handicappers that claim to sell their picks, to be experts, to be all this, all they are salesmen, okay? And we're gonna why should you or should you not pay for picks? The answer is definitely no. There's very, very, very few professionals out there. Most of the professionals, they actually make their serious money through gambling. They don't want to waste their time trying to sell picks and all this other stuff. All right, they'll spend their time sports betting. Okay, now we're gonna actually educate you on this great article about why people shouldn't pay for picks, and we'll go from there. All right. With that said, I'm gonna read it off right here. We're gonna start with this great article, and it says right here: despite this widespread legalization, the sports betting industry remains largely unregulated outside of legal casinos and sportsbooks. It's tightening up, but a gray area still exists. This means that almost anyone can start a company or website and call themselves a handicapper. A handicapper is someone who studies games and makes an educated guess on which team is the smartest bet. Many handicappers are in the business of selling picks to the public. This begs the question, should you buy them? The short answer is no. Handicappers are a dime a dozen, and only a small minority are legitimate, transparent, and successful long term. The vast majority of handicappers that sell picks cannot be trusted and should be avoided at all costs. The dirty little secret with handicappers who sell their picks is that their number one goal isn't to win bets for their members. It's to get people to buy their picks. Once you've purchased the picks, the handicapper has already won. It doesn't matter if the pick wins or loses, the handicapper keeps the payment. Sure, the handicapper wants the picks to win. If they win, that increases the likelihood that someone will continue to buy them, which benefits the handicappers long term. However, many handicappers just concentrate on the here and now. If the picks lose and someone stops buying them, there will always be someone new willing to sign up and take their place. As the famous showman, businessman, and godfather of the circus, P.T. Barnum, once said, there is a sucker born every minute. Handicappers who use overtop tactics to get people to buy their picks are popularly referred to as touts or scamdicappers, which is a four-letter word just because the worst thing you can be called in the gambling industry. However, they won't call themselves this. Instead, they will label themselves as advisors, experts, or pro cappers. Consider them the con men of sports betting. They promise the word and always oversell and underdeliver. Also, keep in mind that true professional bettors and wise guys aren't in the business of selling picks. All right, like I stopping the article right here, and that's exactly what I said earlier. All right, the real professionals aren't going to try to sell you their picks. They're in the money. They're going to be focusing on their picks, and they're making themselves money legitimately. They don't want to or need to. True pros are in the business of earning money from the sportsbooks, not their fellow bettors. Touts will go to absurd lengths to get people to buy their picks. They often appear as used car salesmen using fake names, fancy cars, throwing around wads of money, and showing off scantily clad women to get new bettors' attention. All right, this would be called Vegas Dave and Steve Stevens, aka Darren Latero, the felon. Also, touts lie about their won-loss records. They pretend to be industry experts, promising and promoting unrealistic win percentages with any documentation of past, present, or past performance. Some might claim a win. Some might claim a 75% win rate of 90 or even 90% win rate, or claim they've won their last 20 bets in a row, and have to get in on it now. They hope you take them at face value and accept their wild and outrageous claims as truth. This is who we'd call the Christopher Mitchells of the scamming industry. Right off the bat, if a tout doesn't show a complete and honest record of all their picks, be suspicious. And even if they do, who's to say the record is real and hasn't been doctored? Again, this is what Christopher Mitchell people do. As the saying goes, don't believe anything you see on the internet. Again, we've taught you this for over the last 4 years. We've been teaching you guys this, on the internet about all the scammers. Another red flag is hearing touts call their picks guaranteed winners. All right, this would be Vegas Dave and Steve Stevens, or locks, which don't exist. After all, there are no guarantees in betting. You might also hear terms like five-star lock. All right, five-star plays. All right, five-star dimes, whatever. Play of the month, play of the year, 50-unit bomb, the whale plays, the whale picks, etc., etc. In any attempt to sucker a new sign-up and getting them to pay even more than they would on their smaller picks and clicks. They will list an 800 number and say, call me now. We're only selling 10 more memberships. Don't miss this guaranteed opportunity. To illustrate just how sneaky and deceitful touts can be, consider this. Touts will have a list of members who have signed up and purchased their picks, typically via email or phone number. One of the most notorious game touts play is sending out one side of the bet to half their member list, and the other side, the other game of their list to their member list. This is called double siding and is considered one of the other tricks of the trade in the touts playbook. Think of it this way. The Boston Red Sox are playing the New York Yankees in a Major League Baseball game. The tout has 100 members, paying for his picks. He sends the Red Sox as pick to the first 50 members to his list, and then sends the Yankees as pick to the second 50 members. No matter what happens, half the members' base is guaranteed to win, which means at least half of them will stick around and continue to buy picks. In 1991, Sports Illustrated exposed on sports betting touts. Rick Riley summed them up like this: in a world of cheats, cons, grifters, swindlers, carnival barkers and people you would not want to change your 50. The brotherhood of so-called sports advisors is a gutter unto itself. But what if you locate that diamond in the rough handicapper, whose documents are all their plays, whose documents all their plays truthfully, is honest with their records, doesn't oversell their performance, and turns a consistent profit? That means you should buy their picks, right? Not exactly. Even if the handicapper is legitimate, the deck is already stacked against you pick as a picks purchaser. For example, let's say a handicapper is selling a pick package for $500. You set aside $1,000 for betting, and you spend half of it on the handicapper's picks. This means you're automatically starting off $500 in the hole before ever placing a bet. Then you risk $30 per game. Even if the handicapper has a profitable season, you may not even be able to offset the initial cost of the subscription. If you bet $30 per game and the picks profit $400 over the course of the season, which, by the way, would be an incredibly successful season, you are still down $100 in the grand scheme of things. If the handicapper has a mediocre, average, or below average season, you are down even further. Another negative about buying picks is the fact that unless you bet the game immediately once you receive the pick, the line could be moved and you could miss the number. For example, let's say a pick is released at 7 p.m. on the Broncos -2.5. Unfortunately, you are too busy and can't bet the game until 7:30. By now, the line has moved to the Broncos -3, and the value is gone. If the Broncos win by 3, you push your -3, your -3 bet, even though the pick service counts that as a win at -2.5. Even if you find a legitimate, successful handicapper, you need to be tied to your phone and email at all times, waiting for the picks. I'm going to stop the article here and dive on this. All right, this is exactly another reason why you don't buy picks. All right, because picks are usually posted early afternoon. All right, these people will make their picks. They'll post them on their website or the email, however you get their picks. All right, and it's done very early. And what everybody, even you, are the most ignorant sons of bitches if you think that's fine. And here's why. Information is key to everything successful in life. All right, you need information. All right, and information is key, is definitely to sports betting. All right, so these handicappers post their picks around 1 or 2, whatever the case may be. All right, you guys don't know there's about injuries. Guy could be sick, went to practice, could be sick, could be questionable to play, whether he could have an injury. All right, and again, they made their picks banking on the information they had at that time of the day, whether it's noontime, 1 time, 2 o'clock. All right, when they posted their pick. All right, and that's what it's thinking, if the person's going to play or not play, whatever the case may be. Okay, information is key. Then I've seen it and I've been burnt, and I've been helped by this many times, of these people that will go during warm-ups. We see it all the time, and especially in basketball. Guy will go through warm-ups, all of a sudden he'll be dizzy, or he'll be sick. He'll get sick during warm-ups, or he'll get hurt during warm-ups, or whether it's NBA, NFL, whatever the case may be. These people could always back out. Their star players back out because they get hurt during warm-ups. But the picks are already in, remember? These picks those picks that you bought 6 hours, 7 hours ago didn't have that information. All right? So again, information is key, especially in life, especially when it comes to gambling, especially when it comes to sports betting. All right? Now let's get back to the article. The idea of buying picks makes sense in theory. Maybe if you like having action on the game, but you have a day job and busy life, and don't have the time to research your own. So why not pay someone else to do all the work for you? They send you winning picks, and you bet them and make money. Unfortunately, that just isn't the case. Touts and Handicappers really started popping up in the 1990s with the advent of the internet, following the 2018 Supreme Court decisions to strike down PSAPA. Millions and millions of new bettors are entering the market for the first time. This is a gift to Touts and Handicappers, who now have millions of new bettors to try to prey upon and dupe. In a way like this, in a way, it's like the wild, wild west of the early internet days all over again. Throw in the fact that Touts and Handicappers can promote themselves endlessly on social media like Twitter and Instagram, and it becomes a perfect storm that new bettors can we swept into. All right, perfect example. Vegas Dave. Vegas Dave is the most notorious scamdicapper out there. Okay, then you got Steve Stevens, real name Darren Otero, the convicted felon, twice convicted felon of Ponzi schemes, of duping elderly out of telemarketing. Just a really big scumbag, right? And then this last sentence: the safest and best course of action is to avoid touts and scamdicapers entirely. Instead of paying someone else to make your picks, devote that time and effort and capital into learning how to make smart bets on your own. It's a long and arduous journey, but you can get there. All right, and that's the end of the article. And then let's touch on that last thing. All right, first and foremost, if you are into sports, all right, whether it's football, baseball, NBA, whatever, if you like them all or you just like one, all right, that makes you, that's a start right there. Say you only like one, not all of them. Let's just say you like NBA. All right, that's even perfect. Because if you love the NBA, that means you can devote all your time and effort into expanding what you know about the NBA, the teams, the players, the injury reports, the practices, all of it. You can focus strictly on an NBA season and make good money doing it yourself. All right. You first need, you can learn your analytics, get there in time, learn and build yourself a model based on analytics, based on injury, based on news, whatever the case may be. You can get there. All right. And like I said, again, this is just a quick video, maybe not so quick, but educating you all on why you don't need to and why you shouldn't buy these picks. All right. I haven't even scratched the surface. Maybe I'll get into other videos down the line that will, but I made valuable points why you shouldn't. Okay. Again, some of the main points were, the main point was these picks, all right, they're just sellers. They don't really know their picks. Again, and they make their picks early in the daytime, so you don't know if a player's, you have all the news. All right, and if you're doing it yourself, you bet right up, and yeah, it could cost you half a point. It even cost you a 1 point on spreads. All right, and some experts may not like that, but somebody in my camp that would actually pay the extra half a point, knowing if, say, a LeBron James or a Tom Brady or whatever the case may be, who was injured and questionable to play, all right, and all of a sudden is right up until warm up is ruled in to play, and the spread goes up a half a point. All right, I've learned over the years that half a point is actually worth knowing if their star players are playing or not. All right. Now, with that said, getting back onto sports betting. All right, the best movies I can recommend, that for one, Handicappers, Touts, whatever the case may be, that is a really legit movie. It's about Brandon Lang. Back in the early 90s, I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple times out in Vegas, actually in a club. He was a well-known handicapper, very, very good at picking, but then just got into a world of hurting. And that movie is a great movie with Robert or Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey. Two for the money. All right, it is legit, and you can see the pitfalls of gambling. You can see like how how Brandon Lang, how he had all these these huge clients. All right, and how he'd make these picks, and this is legit. He used to be good, and then next thing is no, he was having other people make the picks. He would flip a coin, and it was just one big mess. All right. Now, another great movie, and this is called with Brad Pitt. It's called Moneyball. Now, Moneyball is basically was how Oakland A's in the late '90s, early '90s would operate their baseball team. All right, they'd use analytics and they'd build their team around analytics of a player's stats. All right, and that's how you do sports betting. All right, basically you build a model. You can do it. Part of that model would be built on analytics, and you can create a game module or simulator. I have it all. It's all expert sports bettors have this. You use these analytics, you create a model, and you create game simulations. All right, and that's a great movie as well. All right. Then I highly recommend. This is definitely a channel for those that want to learn more about sports betting. This is Captain Jack Andrews, and he's somebody that I most respect because his channel is one of the most awesome information channels you could ever get. He doesn't sell his pick. He's widely regarded in the community. He's very well known. He's very good at what he does, and he doesn't sell picks, but he creates excellent content for new beginners of sports bets. All right. With that said, I hope everyone has a great end of their night, Sunday night, and enjoy their upcoming week. And we'll go from there. Stay tuned for the next video. Will be a latest Christopher Mitchell parody video of his most recent videos. That said, take care.